Hi. Official recaps here.
The film opens with a series of extremely flirty messages between two people with the screen names ThongGirl14 and Lensman319. They have been chatting for 3 weeks, and the two people who met online plans to meet at a local coffee shop that day at 11 a.m. at the coffee shop. We meet ThongGirl14, whose real name is Haley, sits down with a slice of chocolate cake, followed by Lensman319 aka Jeff. But to our surprise, Jeff is actually a full-grown adult. He casually wipes the chocolate cake off her lips with his thumb and then licks it off to taste it. Haley, who is 14 years old and naive, is fascinated by him and doesn't think it matters how old he is. As they continue their chat, we notice a sign on the wall depicting a missing girl called Donna Maurer. Jeff is suave and charming, and he disturbs her by telling her she looks and acts older than she is. He then points out the large book she's carrying inside her purse, to which she promptly responds, "It's a school textbook." Later, Jeff buys Haley a new t-shirt and tells her that he's a photographer, so she should model it for him. He also pledges that he will wait 4 years before touching her. In any case, the two continue exchanging flirtatious conversation, and when Haley goes inside the restroom to change, she flashes him for a split second to taunt him. Jeff is noticeably irritated and claims she would drive him insane if she did it again. They go over to his house, where Jeff, a photographer, explains that he has his own home photo studio set up. When they arrive, Jeff prepares drinks for them, but Haley rejects, stating that she was instructed never to drink anything she had not prepared herself. While making him a drink in the kitchen, she realizes that all of Jeff's images on the walls appear to be of young half-dressed girls. Haley then asks him quietly if he's slept with any of his models, and he responds no, stating that he respects legal boundaries because the majority of his models are underage. He did, however, sleep with one when he was much younger. Jeff then brings her to the bedroom to show her the picture, but he appears uneasy when Haley removes the picture from the wall and notices the girl's name, Janelle. She thinks he hasn't moved on from her when she notices his melancholy expression. As they continue to drink, Haley tries to cheer him up by suggesting they arrange a photo shoot. He then pulls out his camera, as Haley hops onto the couch and starts posing. It is at this point that he begins to feel dizzy, yet he continues to shoot images of her. Until, at some time, he staggers and says he doesn't feel well before passing out. When he wakes up, he's chained to a chair, and Haley has revealed that she drugged him. He wonders why he's tied up, thinking Haley did it for fun, and Haley tells him in a serious tone that playing is finished. She questions him strongly about why a normal guy would have half-naked images of underage females all over his walls. He screams for aid, realizing she's onto something, but she sprays bleach into his mouth to convince him to stop. We learn here that Haley meticulously planned this day and has already ensured that none of his neighbors are home at the time. She begins to lay out her case. She's reportedly been studying Jeff for quite some time, using multiple profiles in various online chat forums. In other words, Haley had been speaking with him online under many screen names of varying ages, and he was only interested in ones near to her age. However, as he continues to refute the charges, she becomes irritated and labels him a pedophile, which he vehemently denies. She then drags him into his bedroom and forces him to watch as she digs through his belongings. Haley swears she'll unearth some embarrassing evidence of his perversion. They end up fighting, with Jeff protesting that he is not violent and has never hurt anyone. Soon after, she discovers a collection of letters he saves and spends some time poring through them. They're letters from Jeff's ex, Janelle, who ended the relationship by saying Jeff wasn't the person she thought he was. Haley then switches on to Jeff's computer, where the download manager says he's downloaded multiple photographs, but she can't seem to find any of them on his computer, which is strange. Furthermore, she adds that she has already investigated his entire house but has found no porn, which she considers unusual for a man who lives alone. She then begins to ransack his house, while he sweats frantically and tries to escape. During her search, she discovers a gun under the bed, which she ignores for the time being. She continues her hunt till she eventually discovers a concealed safe in a room. When she tries to demand the safe combination, Jeff points out that she is probably fixated on him since she has daddy issues. He pledges to listen to her issues and even arrange her a taxi home if she simply lets him go. She asks him whether he will be furious with her, and he says he will forgive her. This appears to affect Haley, who approaches him with trepidation. However, then, she begins to cry and giggle, questioning him on whether he truly expected the trick would work on her. Haley is still determined to access the safe, so she starts thinking about possible Janelle-related combinations. When she punches in the date she found on the back of Janelle's photo, which was his first session with her, the safe miraculously opens. Except for one regular photo of a girl called Donna Maurer, who Haley recognizes as the town's missing girl, the safe includes a CD and a series of improper photos of young girls. When Haley approaches him to interrogate him about the girl in the image, Jeff kicks her until she collapses. He rolls the chair inside his room and finds his gun, which Haley had placed on his bed. But when he leaves, she is nowhere to be found. Then this happens. Haley approaches from behind him and starts choking him with saran wrap while he tries, until he passes out. When he awakens, he is strapped to a table, his pants are undone, and an ice pack is placed on his private parts. Haley accuses him of being responsible for Donna Mauer's disappearance after noticing he's awake. Jeff disputes it, claiming he merely met her for coffee and hasn't seen her since. Haley, who is skeptical, teases him that he must be concealing something, but Jeff assures her that he is not the monster she believes he is. And this is where the story takes a dark turn. She grabs a shaver and threatens to castrate him right now, which of course frightens him. They talk for a while because he isn't numb enough yet. Jeff tells Haley that once she cuts him, she'll never forget it, and the things she'll do will come back to haunt her. Unfortunately for him, his admonition has little effect on Haley. She then prepares to castrate him, and when he screams for help, she sprays cleaning spray into his mouth. When she starts shaving his private parts, he begs to be released and even gives her money, but she refuses. When she notices that he is still not numb enough, she replaces the ice pack on him and climbs up to the roof to get some fresh air, drawing the attention of a neighbor. While she begins to prepare for the surgery, he begins to tell her a tale about how, when he was a kid, his very little cousin would come out of the bathroom after a shower and begin tormenting him. And then it became a thing, until his aunt caught them and took him away, pulled his pants down, and set him over the burner, threatening him never to touch her daughter again. Haley, on the other hand, isn't convinced by the account, so he labels her mentally ill. Jeff, feeling helpless, tells Haley to call the cops and tells her he'll surrender himself in. The man is so terrified that he starts shouting and writhing around until he gets weary and falls silent. It's now showtime. Haley takes the medical book from her rucksack and consults it as she performs the surgery. At this time, Jeff has accepted his fate as she slices his balls off one by one. The ice numbs his genitals, so he doesn't feel the surgery. Jeff is shocked to see that his lone balls have been ground up in the coffee grinder. And then, for some reason, she begins to be nice to him by attempting to feed him some water, explaining that she is doing so since his life will never be the same again. This enrages him, so he says he'll find her and get his revenge, but the girl doesn't take him seriously and leaves his side to take a shower. He struggles even more now that she's gone, until he successfully frees himself from the bindings. When he reluctantly checks the site of the operation, he realizes he's actually unharmed, and Haley has elaborately faked his castration. He then puts his pants on and thinks about dialing 911, but changes his mind and instead takes a surgical knife and finds her. In the bathroom, he finds the shower empty, right when Haley attacks him from behind. As they struggle, she tushes him until he passes out once more. She then begins to clean the apartment of her fingerprints, and notices Jeff crawling down the hall, so she tushes him once more. HBY putting a suicide note on his computer, Haley continues to set up the crime scene. She also pretends to be a police detective while calling his ex-girlfriend Janelle and inviting her to his residence due to an incident. When Jeff regains consciousness, he discovers that Haley has shackled his wrists and hauled him to a chair in his kitchen, a noose around his neck. The conversation is then cut short as the doorbell rings, prompting her to tape his mouth shut before answering it. A neighbor from 3 doors down has come to offer cookies. After the neighbor has left, Haley makes Jeff an offer. If he commits suicide, she promises to remove all evidence of his crimes, including Janelle's. Jeff denies killing Donna Mauer once more. But when Haley approaches, he seizes the opportunity to attack and manages to get his footing on a table. This allows him to free himself from the rope and arm himself with a knife, as the terrified Haley flees and hides for her life. He searches his yard for her, unaware that she has returned to the house to retrieve the noose. In the meantime, Jeff's ex-girlfriend Janelle is on her way to his house. Returning to Jeff, he finds a clue on the ground and eventually finds Haley on the rooftop. Haley now has the rifle and instructs him to remove the knife and retie the noose around his neck. She then informs Jeff that she had phoned Janelle earlier and that she is on her way. Haley then gives him an ultimatum: hang himself right now or she'll strip naked and run into Janelle's arms, alleging he assaulted her. Janelle appears, as if on cue, and begins to look for him. At this moment, the desperate Jeff finally admits something. He did not murder Donna Mauer, but he witnessed his friend do so in front of him. Jeff also assures Haley that if she saves his life, he would give her the identity of the other man and the two of them will go hunt him down together. However, Haley confesses that she previously knew his name, Aaron, and that Aaron stated that Jeff did it before committing himself. Now we learn that Haley actually murdered said friend before meeting Jeff. As a result, Jeff is at a loss for options and desperate to get this over with, so he agrees to wear the noose around his neck. Haley tells him once more that she will delete the evidence so that no one would know about the little girls, and Jeff looks back at Haley one last time before succumbing to his death. After he collapses, Haley explains that she has no intention of removing any proof of Jeff's participation in Donna's disappearance, including his previous crimes. The movie ends as Haley takes her belongings with her and leaves the crime scene without anyone noticing, while police sirens can be heard in the background.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.